everybody, this is Allie. Welcome back to my channel Color Mama 360. It's time for another video, so good morning, good night, good middle of the night, depending on when you're watching. And it is time to wrap up the month of April with April completed pages. So once again, the end of the month has snuck up super quick. I can't believe how fast this year is going by so far. Let's talk about what I didn't get to this month. So, starting out with just taking a look back on what I had planned and what I did not get to. So, I only did one page in Matchstick Mouse a Pumpkin Party coloring book this month. I am trying to complete that book, so I had put 2 pages on there in the hopes to kind of get further ahead, but that did not happen. Another page that I did not make it to is this page in Fairies and Magic by Airy. This is the one that I had planned. Didn't get to that one this month and probably won't be coming back to that one for the month of May. I just have a lot of other plans, and so unfortunately this one got pushed aside. This book always gets pushed aside. Next time I plan to do a page in this book, I am going to try my very hardest to start with this page, start with that page, because this is still an uncolored book. And since it is a book that intimidates me a little bit, I am going to keep pushing those pages off until I just start. So, didn't get to that one this month, unfortunately. And then another one that I didn't get to this month is the Cute Friends whip. Now that's a PDF and it's in my PDF binder. I forgot to pull it out, so I'm not going to show you that one, but I probably will not get back to that for the month of May either. And then I also had a page planned in Flowerscape by Maggie Onterios. This is the one that I was planning to do, and I did not get to that one. I almost did, but chose to instead start a page from my random picks, since those are for my 26 books to color in 2026 list. I want to continue progressing in that list and staying on top of things, and so I felt like I wanted to kind of prioritize those over this one. So I probably won't be coming back to this one for the month of May either. I just have a lot of plans for May, but maybe I can get back to this book sometime later this year. Now, a couple of whips and things that I still have going on. I have a whip, actually 2 whips in Color Me Easter for Kids by Ellie Yarzabek. This is the first one, so I've done all the basing and I've started doing the pencil work. I'll probably chip away at this one for the next, like the rest of this week, because I do film my videos a tad early. This one's not as early as I usually do, but there's still about a week left of April, so I will probably just chip away at this one, and if I get it done, great. If not, then I'll either, depending on how far I get, I'll either try to finish it up in May, or I would hate to add it to my long-term whip list, but it may get added to my master whip list, not my long-term whip list. It may get added to my master whip list so that I can come back to it. And I honestly wouldn't mind coming back to this page in the summertime, but I know that there's a lot of other summer pages that I'll want to color as well. So I'm hoping that I can make enough progress in it this week that it should be easy to finish up in May and won't hinder my plans too much. The other whip that I have is this one with the kitties sleeping in the basket. Now, I based this one and had planned to do the pencil work on a live, and that live didn't end up happening. And then the next time that I did a live, it was after Easter. And while I didn't particularly care that much that it had Easter eggs and stuff, I didn't think that that sounded too fun for a live. So this will unfortunately be going on the master whip list until I can come back to it. So I will not get to both of those in May, and so I would prefer to finish the one that I've started. And then this is a whip that you have seen quite a bit. It's Mythographic Wild Summer by Joseph Cadenbang, and it's this page. Now, I did work on this page a little bit. I worked on this page in, I think, a work week whip video, as well as on a live for a little bit. I got really bored with the rocks. I just am showing this to you mainly because I just don't know that I'll be prioritizing it this month. I have a lot of mermaid pictures that I want to focus on. And while this is kind of not, she's not a mermaid, but I don't know, water themed, there's just a lot of other pages that I want to focus on, and I don't want to feel like this page is holding me back. So this might go back on the shelf for a minute until I can get to it again. I would really like to get that wrapped up as soon as possible, though, so possibly get back to that in June. And then another whip that you've seen a couple times is Tales from the Forest Kingdom by Hannah Carlson. And I did do a little tiny bit of work on this as well. I decided that I would just want to try using the Albert Durst just activated with water. So I've come in and started doing a little bit of the shading before I actually go in and activate them with water. We'll see how that effect ends up turning out. Pretty nervous that I'm not necessarily going to like the look of that. So not sure where this page will go, but that is Tales from the Forest Kingdom. And that's a pretty low priority to get back to at the moment. So those are all the things that I didn't end up getting to in the month of April. Overall, though, I actually did okay. So total, I thought that I completed more pages than last month. I actually didn't, but last month I had a lot of kind of like little pages, like title pages with just a little image and things like that. I don't think I had as many of those this month, and that's why it felt like I got so much more done this month. But altogether, I colored 20 pages this month in 17 books, and only 3 of those books were uncolored, which that number really surprised me. Not that I don't know, thought that it would be like the majority of the books, but I did think it was more than 3. So that number surprised me a little bit. But I did not purchase anything this month, which is crazy. I usually don't finish filling this out until the actual end of the month. I just do the pages in the books for this video. But I did not purchase anything this month. So there will be nothing on this side, which is not normal for me. But it is what it is, and it probably will be like that for the next few months too. So 20 pages and 17 books. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. Okay, we're going to start with a couple PDFs. These are from the Princess Kawaii Mega Pact by Kevin Teo Art, and I am trying to finish that book by the end of the year. So here is the first page that I did, the Alice in Wonderland page. I really like the way that this one turned out. I just wish that instead of her eyes being the same color as his hat, that I did them more like the blue of her dress, but that's okay. I didn't even realize until I went to come when I was preparing the pages for this video how much her eyes match his hat, which is not what I was going for, but it's totally okay. I really like the way that it turned out overall. I used Prismacolor pencils or Ohuhu alcohol marker base and then Prismacolors over the top. And yeah, I just really like the way that this one turned out. So another page completed from that book. I'm trying to complete that one by the end of the year. And then I actually managed to do 2 this month, which makes me super happy. So I did this Tinkerbell page, and the camera probably won't pick it up, but it is covered in sparkle. So I based this with Ohuhu alcohol markers as well. Then I went over the top with, I think, now I can't remember if it was Polychromos or Prismacolor. It may have been a combination of both. And then I used a stencil to draw in more leaves. So you can see he had a couple that he had drawn in here. And then I used a stencil to fill in the rest, just to fill up the background a little bit more. And then, yeah, I sprayed it with the Imagine Craft shimmer spray. And I absolutely love the way that the shimmer spray worked on this. The paper handled it really well. So yeah, I am super happy to get 2 pages done in that this month instead of just 1. Next, I have a group buddy color book, Capybara Cuties by Rob Parkinson. And I will put everybody's name up on the screen that this is a project book with. But we choose 2 pages each month and we take turns choosing. I cannot recall right now whose turn it was to choose this time, but we chose this one, or they chose this one. So I based the Cappies with the Hoo Hoo alcohol markers like I usually do, and then I used Prismacolor, I believe, over the top. And I love my gray and blue capybaras. I think this was a color combination that I hadn't used yet for the capybara, so I really enjoyed that one. And then this is the other one that was chosen. And I love this page. This page was super fun too. Again, based with the Ohuhu alcohol markers and then Prismacolor over the top. So yeah, I had a hard time at first thinking of a color palette for this one. I think I knew I wanted to do brown capybaras, but I wasn't sure what to do everything else. And so once I decided on a color palette, I was set, and I think that the execution went really well, but it was a little bit hard to think of a color palette for this one. And it looks like I also maybe used some Ohuhu glitter marker on these stars as well. They're nice and glittery. So those are the two pages that I did from Capybara Cuties by Rob Parkinson. Okay, next I have Summer Nights by Hannah Carlson. This is a project book for the channel. I try to do a page in here each month, and May and June are the only months that I'm planning on doing a page in here, and then I'll switch. But the page I did this month, which I think a lot of you will recognize, is this butterfly page. Now, I did this one on my unpopular opinions video, which so many people have been very kind. I was very nervous to put that out, but so many people have watched it and commented and liked and just been so kind. And so thank you to everybody who has interacted and done it in such a nice way, as well as gone and answered the questions yourself. I've really enjoyed watching everybody else's videos too, and that is the beauty of opinions, is they are all different, and it's fun to hear everybody else's. So I let's see, I based this page with Albert Dur's, I believe, and then polychromos over the top, and then the background is just the Albert Durers activated with water. So I did kind of a weird situation here, if you can tell. I just wasn't really sure what I was doing. I was kind of experimenting a little bit with the Albert Durers. Now I think it works because it's a butterfly. So for some reason it kind of reminds me of like motion for the wings. But I think if it wasn't a butterfly, I don't know how well that would have worked out. So whatever I was doing here, um, I need to do it different next time, depending on what's in the middle. But overall, I really like the page. I did get a little sick of it by the end and wanted to kind of be done, but I still enjoyed it overall. So that is my page from Summer Nights by Hannah Carlson. Next is Matchstick Mouse, a pumpkin party coloring book, and I am trying to finish this book by autumn-ish time, so October. And the page I did this month is this one. So this was a super quick one. I almost completely forgot I even did it this month because I just based it with Ohuhu alcohol markers, and then really there was just pencil for the basket, the hat, a little bit on the worm, a little bit on the bushes, and then the fur was acrylic marker and white signo. Oh, this basket too. And that was it. So the large majority of the page was just alcohol marker and some little details. So yeah, but I think that it turned out the way that I wanted it to. So I'm happy with to have another page done in there. Next is Tiny Year, the Coloring Heaven collection with designs by Go to Pop. And this one is another project book on the channel. Lost my train of thought there for a second. So I'm just kind of chipping away at the shelf pages, and this was April's page. Now I really like the color palette that I finally settled on for this. This is another page I just had a tricky time coming up with a color palette. Um, and some of my shading is a little weird on this, and I'm not sure why. I know I based some stuff with alcohol markers, as you can see. I also think there may have been a couple things that I either didn't shade. There was something strange, like either I didn't shade them or I used the Staedtler pigment pens or something like that. But yeah, just the paper was giving me a hard time this month. So I think I'll probably just stick to basing with alcohol markers, polychromos over the top, because that seems to work really well, or not polychromos, Prismacolor over the top. That is what I've done for the other pages, and that seemed to work better than whatever it was I did on this page. So I also was working on this page, finished using the purple color, and didn't have anything else with me at the time. So I just started doing some purple on the next page too. So not something I'm going to be coming back to anytime soon, but just thought I would share that as well. So next up will be the May page. And I kind of have some ideas for this, but I talked about that a little bit in my plans video if you haven't checked that out yet. So that's Tiny Year by Agotapop. And then the last project book that I have on the channel is Wondrous Folk by Christine Caron. And I am planning on switching this one out as well. Tiny Year will probably stay, but Summer Nights and Wondrous Folk are going to be switched out. This will most likely be switched out with one of my other Christine Caron books, so stay tuned for that. But the page I completed in here this month is this one. Now, this was not the page I had planned, I don't think. I can't even remember the page that I had planned. This was the page that I had planned. And this is a page that I wanted to color since I got the book. But when it came time to actually sit down and start coloring it, I just did not have any ideas. I could not envision how I wanted this page to go. And since I do really like this page, I didn't want to start it without kind of knowing what I was doing. So instead, I switched over to this page. Now, I'm not sure what happened right here. Kind of unfortunate though. I'm not sure if it was something maybe on the paper that I had as a like that I had in between so that the pencil didn't go into this. Not that it matters, but also helps it not smear so much. But whatever it was, it's unfortunate because I cannot really figure out how to cover it up. And this is more of an ivory colored paper, which makes it a little bit harder. So, but overall, besides that little thing, I love the way that her hair turned out. I'm really, really proud of that. And I also love the way that her skin turned out. Again, I think that I'm getting better and better at doing skin and figuring it out. So Christine Caron's grayscale really helps with that. Um, the pink could have gone a little bit better. I don't really like the way that that turned out that much, but that's okay. And then the brown, I think I would have just wanted the cupcake brown to be a little bit closer to kind of almost what her hair was. Um, but I liked the color palette overall. I liked the idea of doing pink and brown. I think also maybe I could have just done a pink cherry just to make everything a little bit more cohesive. So, not my favorite page of the month, but I still enjoyed coloring it for sure and still happy to have another page done in this book. Okay, so moving away from project books and books to complete, I do have a completed page in Color Me Easter that we didn't look at a second ago when we were looking at the whips, and it is this one. So this one had been, I think, a whip for a little while. And then, yeah, I finally came in and completed it. I'm not super happy with the way that this one turned out. There's something about the way that she does fur that I haven't quite figured out how I want to tackle yet. I do like the way that I did the chicks, but then I came in and did like this weird yellow pastel gel pen, which I just shouldn't have done. I should have just left them the way that they were. And then the hen, I don't know, just something about her bothers me a little bit. I think I prefer the Prismacolors on this paper too. This was based with the Hoo alcohol markers and then polychromos over the top, I believe, except for maybe the red, but no, that looks like polychromos too. So I'm not sure, but it may have been a combination, but I definitely think I prefer the Prismacolors um, on this paper as well. So yeah, again, not my favorite page of the month, but that's okay. Not every single one can be a favorite. That's Color Me Easter for Kids by Ellie Yarzabek. Next, I have Flights of Fancy by Camellia Derico, and this one is one of my favorite ones from this month. I colored this one on stream. Didn't finish it on stream, but got decently close. And it is this owl. I absolutely love the way that this one turned out. I wanted to make it Harry Potter themed, so because she has such heavy grayscale, while it would have been ideal to do a white owl, um, I knew that that would be a little bit trickier with the heavy grayscale, so I went for a brown owl instead. So the background is Distress ink, and then the owl is Albert Dur's activated with water, and then that's it, nothing over the top. And then the glasses, the rims, I did with Ohuhu glitter marker. I outlined the leaves with Jelly Roll, and then I traced in these lightning bolts and used Albert Dur's activated with water for those as well. So I really, really love the way that this one turned out, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do with this page as soon as I saw it. It was put on my 26 books to color in for 2026 list, and I'm actually really happy with the way that my idea executed. So yes, definitely a favorite of this month. That's Flights of Fancy by Camellia Derico. Next, I have Whimsical Gnomes by Teresa Goodridge, and this was a buddy color. This was a buddy color with Creative Shannon over on Instagram. I'm not sure if she has a YouTube or not, but um, I do know that she does have Instagram. And the page that we did was this one. And I used Ohuhu alcohol markers as a base and then polychromos over the top. And I really like the color palette that I went for. There's some things that I would do a little bit differently. I think I would this was the first time that I'd used the polychromos on this paper. Oh, it's actually a combination of polychromos and castle art. I do not like the castle art on this paper. The polychromos were okay, but I also wasn't using them how they're supposed to be used. So, um, yeah, I mostly used castle art though, I believe. I think there was just a few areas that I used the polychromos. And while this isn't like my favorite page ever, it's a page that I will never forget because it is the page that I colored for my first live stream. So that was super fun, and I appreciate everybody that has come and supported me on those. I think I've finally settled on Friday mornings. That seems to be what I can be most consistent with based on my schedule and help with kids and things like that. So sorry guys, just need to take a drink. So yeah, that is kind of the day that I've settled on, and this page will always remind me of that. So I really enjoyed doing this page with Shannon as well. Her page was absolutely amazing. I love the way that she executed her colors. Um, and the washi tape border just really pulled it all together. And I'll go ahead and show you her page right here. But yeah, her page was just absolutely amazing. The blue, the browns. I just think that she did a really great job. And I feel like her palette was spring without being like in your face spring. Mine's a little bit more like in your face pastels. And I just really, really, really like the way she executed the color palette on hers. Absolutely stunning. And I really enjoyed our buddy color. So thank you so much for budding with me. That is from Whimsical Gnomes by Teresa Goodridge. Next, I have Fairy Tales and Folklore by Emily Lederhall Oberg. And this one was also a buddy color with, and I should have asked how to say this name, but I'll put them on screen as well. But Tikus Coloring Corner. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. I'm probably not, but I will put it up on screen. And the page that we did is this one. So yeah, I used the Castle Art pastel tints again for this page. I based it first though. I based it with Tombow dual brush pens, and I loved the way the Tombows worked on this paper. The Tombows were very, very nice to use on this paper. I really enjoyed them a lot. The Castle Arts were just okay. Everybody knows this paper is a little finicky, so um, yeah, I think the Castle Arts were just they were mediocre, I guess, for me. I know that a couple people had said that Castle Arts really worked really well. I just only have the pastel tints, so I'm not sure if maybe some of the other sets are better, but the pastel tints were just mediocre for me on this paper. So, and it could just be that those are the only Castle Arts that I own, and so I don't use them very often. And I was just kind of messing around with them, so maybe it was just kind of user error as well. But overall, I like the way that this page turned out. I wanted to go for something very different. Again, I wanted to keep it very spring-like, so that was super fun. And I will put my buddy's page up here, and their page is amazing. I love the way that they did their snake and then the bright pink flowers. Very, very unique and cool. I thought that was super cool. And their snake just, I feel like they were able to add a lot of depth to their snake that I really wanted to achieve, but didn't quite get there. And so, yeah, I think their pages turned out amazing. And this was just another fun buddy color. I'm really seem to be enjoying buddy colors even more. I've always enjoyed them, but I enjoy them even more when it's not, when it doesn't feel like it's adding a page to my plate, and instead I'm just doing buddy colors for pages I already had planned for the month. So, yeah, that is page from Fairy Tales and Folklore by Emily Lederhall Oberg. Next, I have Circle of Life by Malkameni Chetspanagitu. And it was fun to get back to this book. If you've watched the channel, you know that I love this book, but I've struggled with it. I've had some whips in it that just never get done, and I finished up one of those whips last month, so I was surprised to come back and color in it again. And I did something a little bit different, and it didn't really turn out the way that I wanted. But this is the page that I did this month. So I had this page planned, but I decided to kind of let my toddler choose a color palette. Now I gave her like options, like, color palettes from Pinterest. And this probably isn't the one that I would have gone for this page, but I decided to take it as kind of a challenge, and do something a little bit different. And you know what? It's okay the way that it turned out, but yeah, I think I would have normally done something different. So it pushed me out of my comfort zone a little bit with these darker colors. And I actually had planned to kind of turn this one into my submission for the light versus dark hashtag. I haven't posted it yet though, so hopefully I remember to do that. But I thought that this ended up working out really well for that. I didn't use any white, but I did leave white. So I think it can still count. But, anyways, I based again with the Tombow brush pens, and then I went over the top with Prismacolor pencils. So, yeah. I mean, I don't not like the way that it turned out. I just think that it's such a like in your face color palette for this type of page, because it's this page does feel very spring to me, but then you have all these like super dark bold colors. So I did think that was a fun challenge though. So that's Circle of Life by Malkameni Hatsupenagitu. Next, I have Rooms of Wonder by Johanna Basford, and this was another page from my 26 books or 26 pages list. And I actually just finished this one today. Wanted to get it done for this video. It is this one. So I decided, I always, again, another page that I always knew I wanted to turn into a Harry Potter theme page. This is not an original idea. I definitely saw this somewhere, and I feel bad that I don't know where it originally came from, but honestly, it was so long ago and it was just like a picture on Pinterest that I don't even think I saved or anything like that. So, but I want to make that clear. This was not an original idea. Somebody else did this. I just can't remember who it was. So I decided to split it into the four houses and then do the house colors. And this was a fun one to do. It had been recommended that polychromos work really well on this paper and Kirby's paper. So I wanted to try them out, and I'm still really getting used to them. And so I tried them a few different ways on this paper, and I think that I can definitely understand why they're supposed to be layered. I think that overall, where I layered them, that came out a little bit better, but oh, it just takes so long. And I wanted to get this page done. So I think that there's some areas that I could have just done a better job in general, but overall, I like the way that it turned out. There's also a lot of we have gold signo, silver signo, and jelly roll. So lots of glitter gel pens and gel pens in general and all of that for the little tiny details. But overall, like I said, I like the way that it turned out. And I am happy that another kind of idea was able to be executed, even if it wasn't originally my idea. So that's Rooms of Wonder by Johanna Basford. Now, next I have Fragile World, and I forgot to mention this when I was going over what I did and didn't complete, but I had originally planned to do a page in Mythomorphia. Mythomorphia? I think it was Mythomorphia, and it was a double page spread, and I was like, well, I can maybe just work on it over a couple of months. But I sat down to do that page and I was just not feeling inspired. I could not think of a color palette. I could not think of where to start. But I didn't want to not do a Kirby page. So I decided to just replace it with a different Kirby page. And I brought out this book and decided to just do this. Okay, guys, sorry about that. My phone died, and since I needed to plug it in, the sound is going to change a little bit because I don't have my mic on. But we only have a couple books left, so I do want to finish up. This is the page that I ended up doing instead. This turtle page, I used polychromos on this as well, and they did work really well on this paper as recommended by a couple of you other colorists. So yeah, I enjoyed coming in and doing this one real fast, and I knew I wanted to do the shell a little bit different than you might typically do it, just to add, I don't know, something a little bit fun and different to the page. But that is the Kirby page that I ended up doing from Fragile World. And then I also have Cute and Creepy by Camellia DeReco. Now this actually was left over from March. I finished it after I did my March completed pages video. And so it was a monster page left over from Monster March. And I used Albrecht watercolor pencils for everything, I think, for this. What did I use in the background? In the background, I think I used Neocolor 2. And then I drew in these extra circles just to, I don't know, add something else to the page. So this one's okay. I think that my owl turned out a lot better using the Albrechters. I didn't do as good of a job here, but I still like this page and it was fun to do. It was just, I didn't finish it in time to do my completed pages video for March. So that is Cute and Creepy by Camellia DeRico. Next, I have A Million Hugs and Kisses by Lulu Mayo. And this one I also colored on stream. This one wasn't originally in my plans, but I did a stream with my cousin and she picked this one out. So that was fun. I pretty much finished the entire page on stream. And that was a very late night. I don't normally stay up that late at night. And I also am not streaming at night anymore. I stream early in the morning now. But yeah, this was still a fun one to do. Just a quick kind of fun page. I used the Castle Art pastel tints for this one too, I believe. I'm not sure if I needed to use any other sets. And then white Signo and maybe some black Jelly Roll on the strawberries. So yeah, a fun one that I didn't have planned, but that I enjoyed doing and am happy with the way that it turned out. That's A Million Hugs and Kisses by Lula Mayo. Down to the last couple of books, I have Leon's Journey by Kanoko Igusa, and the page that I completed was from the Leon's Journey group, and it is this one. So yeah, I used, what did I use on this page? Some Castle Art pastel tints, some Prismacolor, or maybe also Castle Art pastel tints. I think a combination basically of Prismacolor, Castle Art pastel tints, because this looks like Prismacolor. I think I based the bunny with Albert Durers, and maybe I based the chicks with Albert Durers too. And then I did washi tape and did this background with Albert Durers and used a stencil to make the little bubble type of things. And I colored a little bit of this one on a stream as well. So yeah, I really like the way that this one turned out. I really like the way that this one turned out, actually. I don't remember liking it as much when I first finished it as I do now, but looking back at it, I'm really happy with it. And I actually really, really, really like this page. So definitely a favorite from the month as well, I think. And something about the way that Kanoko Igusa draws her fur, I think just makes it easier for me for whatever reason. I just have an easier time kind of just following the fur that she's already put in. So I enjoyed that one, and I'm excited to continue on with the group. And then the very last page I had to show you is in Seasons by Hannah Carlzon, and I'm happy to finally get a page done in this book. I decided to just do the title page and the book belongs to. So they just match, and I did this little bee as well, but I just brought over the same colors. I'm gonna have to look at my planner and see what I used for this, because I think it was a while ago and I cannot remember. But I know this grayish background is Albert Durers. And then, let's see, what else did I use for this? The Castle Art pastel tints again. So it looks like I didn't even base with anything. Just went in with the Castle Arts. Lots of white Signo, it looks like. And then I also, which the camera probably won't pick it up, but I did spray this one a little bit. I think it's a little bit of sparkle on there. Definitely not as much as some of the other pages. So yeah, this one was a fun one as well. And happy to get a page done in this book, because I really, really wanted to color a page in this book since I was just so excited to be able to get a hold of it. So that is the last page that I have to show you. And as always, I will now go ahead and rank all the pages. So if you want to stick around, you can see the different pages from my favorite to my least favorite of the month. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Thanks so much, everybody.